Right on. Welcome to Undrafted Hockey Fan Podcast. My name is Brad, and today I got a special guest. Jason wrote Jaybird down on his for his video and everything. I love that. He's my cousin, and honestly, the reason I invited Jason is he can hang and he can actually keep up with me. All right, some of these hockey guys. I mean, I have a brother who love hockey. They play hockey. They just can't hang. They just don't know contracts. Jay and I were just talking about earlier. Like I have a buddy who just thought Dylan Larkin should make $2 million a year. And I'm like, what are you thinking, man? What is this?
Yeah.
This is Looney Tunes right now, So we're going to be covering the Detroit Red Wings and kind of year in review, the offseason, what it looked like, some of the signs it did, what we're thinking that's going to happen. We know the huge news, of course, being that Moritz Seider and Raymond are just not signed. It's not like training camp starts next week or anything. So, it's a little hectic. So it'll be fun. Go ahead.
Yeah. I don't know how you have some, your two top guys that, you're trying to build a culture around and you're coming up on time and you're still sitting there like, juggling what if. And it's like, everybody else is picked off.
Well, and look at Swayman isn't signed by the Boston Bruins either, right? So you have a guy, you trade away Allmark and you don't have Swayman signed. Like that just tells you, hey, you are the number one goalie. And so he's like, well, then I expect to be paid like a number one goalie,
right?
Right? Like, I mean, that's gonna look at like $6+ million. I mean, at least, right? And Swayman played really well last year, played the majority of games. And so you kind of have to recognize that you got to get these done. And I think that's kind of similar to deal with Raymond and Seider is that Seider's your number one D. I mean, he's going to be the guy, right?
Exactly.
Raymond's going to be your top winger, for long term. And I'll be honest, when it first started, I was said, we'll just jump right into the Raymond and Seider. But to me, like I just saw it would be really cool if it was like a Parise Suter thing in Minnesota, where they're like, hey, same deal, same year. Same with Hellebuck and Scheifele out in Winnipeg. Same dollar, same years. And I thought that'd been really cool. Like I was thinking, like, oh, it'd be really cool if there was like $8.5 million for 8 years for both of them, and just like you just call it good.
Yeah.
But I think Seider's going to come in long term for higher price, and I think Raymond's going to go a little bit shorter at a lower price, in my opinion.
Yeah,
but what do you
think? I see Raymond probably a 4-year, no more than that.
Oh yeah,
I'm thinking.
Why you think that?
I'm thinking that because one, our general manager, we all know, Mr. Get 'em cheap.
Yeah, he does.
He doesn't like to commit on the long terms. For him, it's very much a sketchy situation, and I mean, I can understand some hesitance, but I think now's the time. You got the guys around you. You got a couple, veteran guys. We'll get into that, those signings later. But you added another piece to the puzzle, and I don't know why you would wait so long to put the glue together, so to speak.
Yeah, well, and we saw a similar contract signed for Raymond just recently. We just saw Seth Jarvis sign.
Yeah.
I mean, technically it's 7.4, but really ends up being 7.9 because they did. So, did you hear about the intricacies of that contract?
No, I didn't see all the sweetheart deals and everything laid in.
So crazy enough, for 8 years they have a cap hit for 7.4, but in that 9th year they have a bonus in there, which is $400,000 per year. So it's like ends up being like a $3.6 million bonus in a 9th year. So they deferred part of his. So his cap it. So it ends up happening his cap because they deferred that money to a 9th year. His cap it is not 7. He's getting paid 7.9 per year for 8 years. But since they added the 9th year, it actually drops it down to a 7.4 cap hit. So they save like $400,000 to $500,000 per year because of that.
Right. That's a huge deal. That's very smart.
It's really interesting. So, another comparison that I was looking at is you have Cole Caulfield signed 8 years at 7.885. And I mean, and the thing is, the difference between Cole Caulfield and Raymond is that Cole Caulfield is a goal scorer. I mean, and we saw that with Raymond. He hit the 30 goal mark. And Cole Caulfield, though, in 22-23, but after he had signed this contract, put up 40 or 26 goals and 23 goals. So, like, that Cole Caulfield, as they like to say, like he's goals. Nonetheless, let's be frankly, goals are more important than assists. Both are great, But if you want a guy that scores 80 goals or has 80 assists, you want 80 goals.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
right?
I'm taking the goals. Yeah, the
Right.
assists are, they're here and there.
They're good. They're good. Yeah, you realize if you have 60 goals, 40 assists, or 40 goals, 66, you like, dude, like, give me the goals. They're just a little more important, right?
Oh yeah.
And Cole Caulfield looks like he could be a 40 goal scorer, and I think Raymond could kick close. I think he can get around that. I think he can get 35, almost 40. I think. Getting the
Yeah,
right.
I mean, yeah. What he got 32 this year.
Yeah, he did phenomenally this year, and that's kind of where. And then another person I was looking at for a comparable was Matt Boldy, 7 years for $7 million. So again, assuming 8 years, call it 7.5. So you're looking at probably this was signed back in 23. So January of 23. So this is a year and a half ago. You're looking at someone like that, like he's produced well, right? He's 69 points, 75 games. So you're seeing these guys perform at a similar pace. And this is where I just don't know. And this is kind of where I think it's Raymond should come in around 7.9 to 8.2. That's kind of where I think the sweet spot is, somewhere between there. If for an 8-year contract, if you're gonna go 4 years, I think it's around 6.5. I mean, that's about what Larkin got when he bridged, and he's not, and he's a center. So, and it's just that was, 5-6 years ago. So
right. Yeah, no, I believe that the Raymond deal needs to be done quicker rather than later, in my opinion, because every day he waits, he can go back to Sweden and play in another league. It seems like he's not content on, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To me, Raymond's attitude as a player on the ice, don't get me wrong, I think he's a dog out there.
Yeah.
But sometimes it seems like he just doesn't want to be there.
Really? You think that?
Sometimes I see him on the ice and I see him staring and looking around, kind of like, I don't know if if it's like too much for him. I don't know if, like, these first 3 years it was, shell shock or what, but sometimes to me, he doesn't look like he's having as much fun as he should be out there.
Oh, see, I think I was thinking with those last couple of games where he just was like, yeah, like he was losing it with those goals that he scored against Montreal and everything. That's kind of what I see. But I mean, I think he feels like he can command a little more because he is a year younger, right? He skipped the AHL, right? He went right from SHL to the NHL. Siders played it a year in the AHL, right? So because he had that little longer development.
Yeah.
But when you jump right from the SHL to the NHL, it's a big jump, and also playing top line minutes too. So who else was going to? But
yeah.
But like you have a guy who has performed. I mean, let's be honest, he has performed. And he's done very well for himself. He's a 4th overall pick. Arguably, that you redo this draft, Lafreniere. He might go ahead of Lafreniere. Lafreniere did have a great year this past year. I think he had like 60 points. But, for a 1st overall pick, he started right in the NHL and you just didn't see that progression. And now you're starting to see it. But I think in a redraft, I mean, you go Stützle, Raymond at this point. I mean, because Stützle's a center and he's put up 90 points, right? And
yeah, that kid's something else.
dude, I know. I would love for that German connection. Like I want JJ Mosier. I want, is it JJ Mosier? Who's around? Is it Buffalo? I think. I can't think of his name. Anyways, but either way, I think. So I think so. In the short term, so again, long term, I think you got 7.9 to 8.2. So let's say theoretically Raymond goes 8 years. What do you got?
So for an 8-year, I got him sitting at 7.5.
Oh, okay.
For a longer contract.
You think he is worse than Jarvis?
Yeah, I think Jarvis is a little bit better player.
So Raymond put up more numbers than Jarvis, though.
Yeah, he put up 3 more points.
Yep.
Jarvis had 69. Raymond had 72. But to me, Jarvis he's got that extra gear. I don't think I saw Jarvis take one shift off ever. I've watched Raymond loop back on a play
Jarvis had, by the way, 5 more points or 5 less points. Sorry, 5 less points. So he had 67 and 81. Raymond had 72 and 82.
Okay, so I was close, but not quite there. But
still, but I think kind of like to your point, I think Eisman runs his guys down, and I think getting him under 7.5. I don't think he signs it. I don't think he signs an 8-year deal at 7.5. I think Raymond would rather bet on himself on a 4-year contract, like you were suggesting before,
Yeah.
with a 4-year.
I think the fact now, though, that pretty much all of the eyeballed unrestricted free agents and in the terms of free agency pretty much just slowed down now. So it's like, Sider, you don't have, or Ray, you don't have anywhere to back up to anymore. Everybody's kind of already picked their guys. You know what I mean? So it's like you're still trying to play hardball on a contract where, hey, everybody else has kind of spent their money. They don't know if they can even afford you because you're asking for a long-term high dollar deal. And when you look at, the list that I got, I got one, I got 7-year 63, 7-year 50, 8-year 69. You know what I mean? It's just, everyone already spent their money.
Well, and to me, I think the issue is it kind of comes back to what Yzerman has done. He signs Cop too much for too long. He signs Confer, who is okay. He's this team, he's a 2C. On any other team, a Stanley Cup team, he's a 3C. But he's filling it right now.
I think he was fair for his dollar, though. I think he's done exactly what he's worth.
Yeah, and I agree. I think he's done well, and I think he's going to do well between Tarasenko and Kane. But yeah, so I think I agree with you. Go with the $4 million. I think the 4-year makes sense. He is at UFA in 2028, so I think because it'll be 2028 that July. So he can only sign a 3-year deal, I think then. Yeah. So some either 3 or 4-year deal. We'll go with 4. We'll assume 4 because it says his UFA according to Puckpedia says 2028. I think because he skipped that year because he came and played as a 20-year-old. So I think it kind of knocks it down as opposed to being like the year 27 years old. I think it's
right. Yeah, the rights and everything to the player.
UFA is either the current contract ends after 7 accrued years or 27 years or older. So I think he had a 3-year ELC. Also, you're right, 4 years. You're right, 4 years. So all right, so 4 years. So 4-year contract. Where do you got him
at? 4 years. I like kind of like what you said. I think 4 years at 6 is a solid deal.
Yeah.
I don't have any complaints over that. I think 4 years. Yeah, it's not a bad deal. I think that's easily staying. That keeps money in your back pocket. Pay some other players again. If you get like another thing like a Patrick Kane who wants to stay, you got that extra 3-4 mil in the back pocket because you didn't fucking spend it. On somebody who didn't really seem like he wanted to, stay here legitimately. He wasn't.
We didn't know, right? He had his poker face is so good. I mean, I didn't know Patrick Kane was going to sign. I honestly didn't, and he played it so well. And I think it was a good contract too. And we will go back to the Sider before so we can get these RFAs knocked out of the way. But I thought Kane was a great sign because it's a $4 million salary, and then you can go up to 6.5 in bonuses.
Right. Yeah. So, very incentivized, heavy contract
for a guy that's gone through a hip surgery that no one has gone through, right? Gone through and succeeded in the NHL, right? I think Backstrom was the closest, and he was like. He played 58 games and had like 13 points, whereas Kane was almost a point per game. And I mean, it is Kane, but Backstrom was great at one point as well. So he did perform. So going back to Sider, just so that we can get these knocked out. What do you got for Sider as a good comparable? Because mind you, we just saw Brock Faber after only 1 year signs 8 years, $8.5 million for the Minnesota Wild, who don't have anybody, by the way. I mean, they only have Faber. So, but we do have Edmondson coming up. We have Sandy Pellica coming up as well. Yeah. We have Sider. I mean, Sider's the best of the 3, of course, but there is a bit of a competition. So, where do you think Sider lands in for the Red Wings?
Well, I see Sider in the league as he's going to grow to be easily top 10.
Yeah,
defenseman in the league.
NHL just ranked him top 20. He was the 20th best defenseman in the NHL. I think it's about proper. Maybe 21st, maybe 19th. Yeah. There's some arguables there. Dougie Hamilton is a great offense, but no defense. Sider has a little more defense. So, but go ahead.
Right. Yeah, but coming out of your ELC the way he did, you came in rookie of the year.
Yeah, Calder went there. Yep.
Popped off on the point side of things. Brings a very heavy bodied game.
Yeah.
Can and if he needs to, right? Very, very poised, almost like I don't want to say Lidstrom yet, right? Because we just don't know.
Mr. Perfect. How do you know if you could do that,
Right? Yeah, the
Matty?
perfect human. I don't know if anybody can
Yeah.
get with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can't do
No,
that.
of course not.
But if anybody's showing any resemblance, it's him. Very sound with the puck, very smart, knows where to go every time.
Yep.
So to give my number, I say you pony up the long dollar for this guy, and you give him that 8x8 if he wants it.
Oh, really? Okay. So yeah, I think it goes because to me, you're of the guys you're going to. So this is how I think it's funny because you go a little under and I go probably a little higher. Because I would go because to me, so Larkin's your top, right? He's the 8-7. No one's gonna go past Larkin. I think that's an internal cap. I think it makes sense. It's something that the Boston Bruins did. It's something that we see with a lot of other teams. You have these internal caps. And to me, Larkin is the top. And I think if you're of the guys who you're going to be paying in the whole system, it's Raymond, it's Seider, right? And Larkin, of course, right? To me, I honestly, if we're arguing over $500,000, it's negligible. And for stars like this, a guy that you're saying is gonna be a top 10 defenseman in the league, go 8.5, go 8.6. You're not hitting 8.7 because there's a captain, right?
Right.
But I'd be absolutely comfortable going 8.5. And I think that's undervalued. I honestly, on the open market, Seider's a $9.5 million.
Yeah, because he's a number one for a lot of other teams as well.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, right. I mean, even like take something like a team like Buffalo. Oh, actually, Buffalo is a great example, by the way. By the way, Darlene signing $11.5 million for 8 years, but again, he did bridge though, right? But I think similar in that vein, you have Owen Power, right? Who signed an 8-year deal at $8.35 million after only 1 year. So that's
terrible management.
Is it not yet? I think right now it is, because if your number one overall pick doesn't pan out, you got bigger troubles in cap. You know what I mean? Like,
the franchise is obviously going in the wrong direction.
13 years missing the playoffs. Sending out, moving out Jack Eichel. I literally listened to a video. I'll send it to you later. Rob Talks Hockey. It's a 14-minute slay fest on why Buffalo is just dog shit now.
Dude, I
like Buffalo. I like them. I think they got a ton of good players. What's happening?
I don't know. The closest they were to greatness was in '99, and Brett Hall fucked them over pretty bad.
yeah, that's true. That is true.
So
they played that clip of Brett Hall just like in the net. Is maybe.
Yep,
so.
Foot in the crease. That was the rule, boys. That was the rule.
But again, if you look at like the Buffalo Sabres, they got. I mean, again, I think he's better than Owen Power. Like, and I think again. 8.4, 8.5. I don't think that's too crazy. I would love an 8. I would love 8x8.
Yeah.
I would love it again, but I think if the only way Seider took an 8x8 is if he was like, yo, Ray, 8x8, let's go. I'll take a little bit so you can get a little bit more. You know what I mean? Because to me, Raymond probably isn't an 8. It'd be nice. I mean, he's had one good year. Seider won Calder and has played very hard minutes. So, but to me, like, I think if they just went in together, I was like, yo, let's both take 8x8, call it good. I think it'd be great. So
a question there now that opens up a door. I just had the question: do they have the same agent?
I don't believe they do. I can look though. Let me pull that up. I don't believe they do. So
okay, because I'm just thinking out loud, right? That would make a lot more sense why both of them are not signed.
Well, they're both hanging out in Sweden right now, so it would make sense that they'd be talking. But they are not. I don't think they are. No, they're not, because Seider has Claude Lemieux, and then Raymond has JP Barry. Let's see, who's JP Barry's got. I mean, he's got a lot. He's got a lot of guys. He has like Raymond. Let me see that. Pasternak signed an $11.5 million deal. Barzell, Hamilton, Philip Forsberg, Morgan Riley, Evgeny Malkin. I mean,
that dude's rich.
Huh?
That dude's loaded.
I do. Yeah, he's got a dude. He's got. I think so. Puckpedia. If you guys aren't using Puckpedia already, definitely try and use it. So just at center, he's got $260 million in active contracts.
Hey, give me my 10%.
Dude,
Thank
yeah,
you.
dude. I think he's got one on every team, dude. He's got 6 contracts just on the Minnesota Wild. He's got 3 on the Wings. He's got like Olimata. I mean, it's honestly, again, if you don't even check out Puckpedia, I highly suggest it. It's a ton of fun. Cross Hannas, but he's an RFA. So
Opened up a can of worms on that thing there, huh?
I love that. Yeah, I honestly like. I used to use Cap Friendly, but again, Cap Friendly. I don't know if you heard about Cap Friendly. It was similar to Puckpedia that I showed you earlier. It was arguably better at the time, but Puckpedia is really making a lot of strides, trying to be the next one.
Yeah.
But the Caps, someone made a joke. So you know how the Caps traded for Pierre-Luc Dubois.
Yes.
Yeah. So basically traded out Darcy Kemper, who had 3 years on his contract at like $5.5 million. And they traded for Pierre-Luc Dubois, who had 7 years at like $8.5 million.
He's the worst contract in the world.
Worst contract. Well, I mean, Darnell Nurse is arguable as well.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, I mean, and Seth Jones as well, but at least Seth Jones on a rebuilding team, right? You know, where it's not really having the effect that
Seth Jones is on a shitty team. He can't help himself.
Yeah. I mean, get your bag, man. Get your bag. So,
right. Exactly.
But the funny thing is, they said the reason that the Capitals ended up buying Cap Friendly. And someone was like, "Oh, the reason they did that is so no one could look up how bad the Pierre-Luc Dubois trade was."
Yeah, we shafted ourselves so hard we couldn't let anybody know it.
Yeah. Hey, hide the evidence, guys. Hide all the contracts and everything.
Yeah. Go to the shredder file.
Yeah. Exactly. So, but anyways, so again, I think 8 to 8.5 million. It makes sense over 8 years for Seider. Again, I think 7.5 to. I'm saying you're saying 7.5. But I think the short term makes a little more sense for Luke's Raymond. And then I think Berggren, I mean, let's be honest, he's getting a 1 year contract. It's under a mil.
Yeah, I put him right above league minimum. Give him $850. Mm-hmm. Right, I mean, because he's been here, I'm not going to knock him down to the league minimum $750.
I mean, he played in the AHL most of the year last year, so you're not going to pay him like but the year before that he played a ton. I think it was like 62 games in the NHL. So
yeah, I mean, he had to fill in. We didn't, because of course, when that happened, that's you get rid of Bertuzzi, you had to have somebody come in and try to step up somewhere.
Yeah, true. That was the year they traded Hronek too, wasn't it? I think that was.
Yeah, well, did Hronek happen after the season?
No, 2023. That was 2023. Yeah, no, that was because 2023 they sent Bertuzzi to Boston and they sent Hronek to Vancouver, and then
where he popped off.
Yeah, dude. I mean, playing with Quinn Hughes. I mean, Michigan boy, dude.
Yeah, put your stick on the ice. I'll do it. I'll do it for you.
Exactly right, hey, dude. Norris winner, Quinn Hughes, by the way.
Right.
Norris winner. So I mean, but yeah, I agree. Berggren under a mil, 850. To me, Berggren gets. They say the Berggren's already done. They're just waiting on Seider and Raymond where they come in, and then they can kind of figure out what they want to give Berggren, because maybe he goes 1 year for $800,000, or let's say you sign him for 2 years for maybe $1 million, right? Like something along those lines, like because you have the space, right?
Right. Yeah, and also like you said, it depends on how much money you have left after Seider and Raymond. Do you only have $750 left?
Yeah, exactly.
You only have, how much do you have left that you can do that?
Well, and how much the cap space that the Red Wings have, they have $17.6 million. So again, if you're doing 8.5 each, that's $17 million right there.
There's all your money right there.
There's all your money, right? So that's why you're trying to get them under a little bit. I mean, honestly, again, if they both came at 8.5, I wouldn't be mad. And then you just ship off, I don't know, like not Joe Veleno. You just signed him, but maybe you ship off
Christian Fischer.
No, you just re-signed him. You can't do. You're not. It's poor taste. You just re-signed him.
I know it's poor taste, but this is grown man's league here, boys.
I don't disagree. That's something where you start talking, and this is one of the topics that I want to talk about maybe later. This is where you start moving out. Honestly, I wouldn't want to. The easiest contract to move out would be Olimata.
Jeff Petrie, get that old bastard the fuck out of here.
He has too much protection. Yeah, he has. I think it's a full no move clause. If I remember correctly, so he can't. He has to choose where he wants to go.
Ask him for his list.
Partial. He's a partial modified no trade clause. But I think the easiest person is Olimata at $3 million 30 years old. I genuinely, I like Olimata. I think it's gonna, like, to me, we're kind of going back down to the lines. I think your D pairs, it goes Sherrod Sider, right? And then
Yeah.
you go Edvinson Petrie, because they played well together last year. Then you have an Olimata with Gustafson.
Gustafson.
Yeah, because you have an all offense and then an all defense guy, right?
Yeah.
You know,
I like Olimata for the fact too that he is a very sound defensive. He's not going to take those chances. He's going to be very smart. But fuck, dude, you're old. I'm sorry, but you don't move with the pace of the league anymore.
well, and to me, with Petrie or Amata?
Mata.
Oh, I see.
Both
I
of them.
think yeah, it's both of them, of course. Yeah, I think Mata is your defensive defenseman. I think he plays good. I think once he's out, Johansson steps into that spot. He's your fifth, sixth pair D. He plays with Gustafson next year. I mean,
Yeah.
that's where I see, because Mata's in his last year's contract, $3 million, kind of expensive for a third pair D. Let's be honest. I mean,
Yeah.
Gustafson is making $2 million a year. So I think that's something that so I also talk in AAV, so average annual value, because then I can do it year to year. I think you were talking earlier about like 8 years, $69 million, and I'm like,
Right. Yeah.
I gotta think of the math too quickly, because I'm like, oh fuck, what is that? What is that year by
Yeah.
year?
Yeah.
So,
You're AAV. Yeah, I understand.
yeah. So if you give me a number, I can give you but I have all the breakdowns over here, so if you need them. So
Okay.
before we jump into lines, I kind of want to just real quick talk about what happened going this past year. Of course, Red Wings missed the playoffs, tied same points, right down to the fucking bitter end against the Washington Capitals. It just lost because they didn't have enough regulation points, which is a bummer. But hey, it's okay. Washington got swept in 4 games, which I like. I'm like I think Red Wings may have won one, might have, right? But
Might have stole one.
maybe, like, I mean, it wasn't gonna be the goaltender stealing one, let's be honest.
No.
But it would have been cool to have seen it. But just to go real quick over the summer, there was two trades. Let's do the easy one, because I'm gonna get pissed off about the next one. I am. I'm honestly, I just said in my video yesterday, I said, to me, there's two moves that pretty much every move with Iceman, I've been okay with. Honestly, there's two moves. Signing Cop to that. I didn't want him in the first place. Sherrod has I'm accepted. It's not as it used to be worse. It's gotten better, but like
he's shown glimpses of, okay, this could be okay and work out, but
yeah, is he a $4.75 million a year guy? No. Is he a 3.5, 4? Yes. So he's probably a little overpaid, but it's not the worst, right?
He's not a liability per se. I mean, there's worse out there.
Exactly. Cop is a liability at $5.6 million a year. And you put him on a third pair, right? That's an expensive third pair guy.
But he was brought in to be a little more power play, and he sucks.
I know. I do. I don't get it, dude. So
yeah.
You have Cop there. So the Cop counter is number one. The second one is the one that happened this past. Well, like I'm not gonna get there yet. We'll go Fabry first. So Red Wings did move off of Robbie Fabry. They sent over a conditional 2025 fourth round pick. And that condition was, looking at the conditions right here, I'm pulling it up right now. Condition is that they either give Boston's or Detroit's, whichever one's earlier. So fourth round pick, and they got back Gage Alexander, who's he's an ACHL goalie. He's a prospect. He's just a guy. I mean, it'd be cool if he hits. If not, they got Augustine and they got Costa. So I'm honestly not too worried about him. So it was more of a cap dump. It was basically just moving a contract. So and again, you save for a fourth round pick, you save $4 million on Robbie Fabry, which is fine, because then you bring in Berggren instead, right? You know, and some of the other guys that, because Robbie Fabry was a high offense, not a great defense guy. So he's your other Daniel Sprong, right? And also, and similar to Berggren, more offense, less defense. You just swapped them basically.
Right.
So,
yeah. One for the other. Yeah, it was even.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty much. And then the more frustrating one. Now the Red Wings did make two trades at the same time this day. They did move out Andrew Gibson, a second round pick. In the past 2024, in this past 2024 draft. Is that 24? Yeah, let me check real quick. He was 2023. Sorry, my apologies. So he was a second round pick, 2023, 42nd overall. Traded him for Jesse Kiskinen and a 2024 second round pick. So they picked Andrew Gibson with a second round pick in 2023, traded him for Jesse Kiskinen, who was drafted in the third round, and an additional second round pick. And I think this is smart because Red Wings are deep at defense. Andrew Gibson's going to look like he's going to be an actual NHLer, but Red Wings have so many defensemen. I mean, they have Wallinder, they have Shai Buyam, they have Edvinsson, they have Johansson, they have Aksani Pellikka, they have Moritz Seider. And I mean, there's more here.
Yeah.
So I think it was a young prospect who's not going to be ready for a while, and that's okay. For a forward, a winger, Jesse Kiskinen, who the Red Wings were high on, they did look at picking him, which Red Wings are definitely don't have the depth on the Jesse Kiskinen. So, any thoughts on the trade, or I mean, anything on this first trade before I get to the next part?
No, I don't really have a whole lot on that one. I just think it was that one was more business than anything.
Yeah.
It wasn't for a gain here or a gain there. It was pretty much just a business decision.
To me, it was smart because you already have defense, so you just traded an offense for a defense, right? Or a forward for a defenseman, right?
Yeah.
And they're basically similar. Plus, you got the second round pick, which is great. Now, unfortunately, the Red Wings did not keep that second round pick. They ended up moving Jake Wallman and that second round pick that they just recently acquired for future considerations. Dude, tell me about it. Fucking tell me about it, dude. I was like, dude, they were saying, I've listened to so many reports, people are talking to GMs, they're like, I would have paid for him.
Yeah, what in the fuck are we doing? Yeah. You finally get somebody who gels with your squad. He takes chances. He's a lightning bolt. The guy brings the crowd alive. He fucking I mean, he gets it. Dude. He's just there you go.
I got you, dude. Right here, dude. I got my Jake Wallman, dude. I'm ready.
I mean, I don't know. The energy and everything that he brought, the guy never had a bad day. Yeah. He was, I don't know. I liked his game. He was smart. He was physical. He was quick. He was, he could score goals and he could, catch the guy on the breakaway. He's going to be that guy. And now there's no speed on the back end.
Well, so now I will say, this is the one thing I would say is Wallman did, and this is kind of where I see some of the argument. Wallman at near the end was going lower and lower in the lineup. He was playing second pair, and then he got moved down to third pair, and he was losing a spot. And I think there was a little bit of animosity there where he's like, listen, like I was playing well with Seider. What's happening? And he's like, well, the problem is you started not to, right? Like, because Wallman's not a first pair defenseman. Let's be honest.
No.
He's probably a second, third. On a cup contender, he's a third.
On a team like ours, he's second, third.
Yeah. Yes, which is good. Like it's a good player, but to me, a bit expensive. $3.4 million for a third pair guy, right? I mean, I think he wasn't playing well with Petrie, but you also had to make room. And what other room were you going to make? I don't think San Jose was going to take Sherratt. Let's be honest. And Petrie was not going to be moved either. So they either take Olimata or they take Jake Wallman. And of course, the more appealing one is going to be Jake Wallman, right?
Naturally. Yeah.
Well, I mean, honestly, I'd love to take Justin Hall, who we fucking completely forgot about there. I mean,
yeah, thank God Toronto took him back.
Woo! No, they didn't.
Yeah, I swear that's what I saw. No, am I lying?
You're lying. No, he originally played for. No, he didn't. I'm looking at the trades page right now. There's no way. He's still with the Red Wings.
Oh, they just iced him on the fucking bench and put him in the closet.
He played 34. I think he played 34 games last year. 38 games, 5 points.
That's how unrecognizable this piece of shit is. Get him out of here.
They signed him last year, 3 years, $3.4 million. Now, this is the rule that I've heard with free agents, and it makes a ton of sense. Again, when you're into the higher guys, and for free agents, you pay $1 million more per year, and you pay for 1 year longer, right? Would you want Justin Hall at 3.4? No. Would you want him at 2.4? Still no.
No. No.
But like to me, I was like, what are you doing? And I guess you want a right-handed defenseman, but
yeah, I don't know. I guess the only thing I can assume is that they shuffled their feet too long, and that's what was left.
Yeah, I know. It's just a bummer. I mean, they put themselves in this position, and I think I think this up and coming. I think they're going to try him again this year, but I think this this up and coming summer, it's either Cop, if Danielson, or who's the other center?
Nygaard.
No, he's a winger. Who's our other center? Danielson and Casper. If one of them makes it
Okay.
next year, I think Cop's a buyout candidate, and I think Hall's a buyout candidate.
That
Problem is
Danielson's going to make the team.
this year.
No.
Oh, next year.
No, next year. Yeah, you give him you give him a year to warm up, but he will be in a winged wheel next year.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think he fights really well for it. My issue is I understand what the Red Wings are doing. One of my biggest issue with Yzerman is that you sign too many veterans, right? You sign too many guys, you clog up the space where you're not allowed. You're over ripening the guys in the Detroit in the Grand Rapids Griffins. Like,
dude, 100% agree. 100% couldn't agree more.
Yeah, you
couldn't agree more.
Like, I mean, you like think about down there. Like, how long did it take Edmonton to come up, right? Like, I mean, you should like guys who should be working for spots, and I get it. No one deserves a spot, and they have to earn it. But at some point, you have to allow these guys to get into a position where, and to me, I don't. And controversial, I don't think it's actually Yzerman's decision to get good now. I think it's ownership. I think ownership is putting the pressure, says, listen, I've had this fucking arena for 7 years.
Right.
No playoffs for the Pistons, no playoffs for the Wings. I'm missing out on a $10 million per game.
Right. My building's empty, bitch.
The building's empty. Exactly. So I think it's, and if people are putting putting it to Yzerman, I genuinely think, because the thing is you lose the Illich. Is it Mike Illich, right?
Yeah.
You lose Mike Illich. You get the Son's trying to make a stamp, trying to make the company look good, and he's like, we need to pump some money into this place. Gets it I think that's the issue. Is he's young. I think he's in his early 40s. He wants to make money. He doesn't want to win championships. And what Yzerman is trying to win championships.
Right.
And
agreed, because that's what he did. I mean, he's been
talking about it since 2019. He's been saying, like, I want perennial playoff team, not one and done.
Right. Like, I understood. We all understood that giving Yzerman a little bit of time. We all knew that it wasn't happening overnight.
Yep.
We all knew that it's going to be at least 3 years before we see any type of dividend or return or something coming out of what he's doing.
Yep.
But now it's year 5. We saw a glimpse last year of what could be.
Yeah.
But now you got to pull that fucking trigger already. I mean, I don't want to use the word trigger because, you know.
No, I hear you. No, I hear you. But to me, like, it's Starbucks is late. Look at you, buddy.
Oh, I went and got it earlier. Yeah, I had it. I've had it for about an hour.
I love that. So, but to me, it's, but you're buying success. You're not building success. Your built success is Raymond Sider. Like,
right.
That's it.
It's not the 90s anymore. You can't buy success.
No, you can't. And the thing is and this kind of goes back to, I mean, I'm gonna go off on this tangent then. I think, in my opinion, Red Wings take a step back, actually. I think they're still fighting for a playoff spot, but I think they actually may get less points this year. Because to me, is it worth it? Because again, you have none of your prospects are coming up. You next year, what are you going to do? You're going to have fucking Casper, Mazur, Danielson, Wallinder. You're going to bring up 4 new guys, and then Alfredson, who's probably going to play maybe 30 games. I mean,
yeah, I see your concern with that,
because so you either get younger now, or you get younger, like you bring your young guys up later. Like, they're over ripening down there. Like, Shai Buium is probably another 2 years away as well. Like you have these young guys, they need to come up. There needs to be spaces for them. And I'm looking at these. I'll fucking lose it right now, dude. I'm on fire fucking right now, dude. I'm like again, I like Olimata. Fuck him off.
Yeah.
Fuck off, buddy. Like, Jeff Petrie, fuck off, right? Like, so you're looking at the guys who and defense who are clogging it up. Ben Sherratt, Justin Hall, Gustafson. I like the signing, right? Those are 3 guys that you have are your veterans. I don't mind that. But again, honestly, they're gonna. And I said this before. You're either trading Huso, actually, we'll come back to that. We'll come back to that. We'll come back to that. Actually, I think they need to trade Mata. They're gonna waive Huso.
I don't mind it. I don't mind it.
You need cap space. You need the cap space back, and you have 4 fucking goalies.
Yeah.
5 if you count Kosa, who hopefully gets a game, right? But you got fucking Cam Talbot. He's your starter, right?
It has to be.
I think Huso has always he's good. He looks good. He gets injured,
right?
Yeah. Which by the way, Lion, I fucking love. When they signed him, I was like, chef's kiss, fucking chef's kiss. You had a guy who got you guys into the playoffs. For the Florida Panthers, goes all the way to the finals with Bobrovsky, backing up Bobrovsky, and then suddenly you sign him for $900K for 2 years. I was like, fucking perfect. And he's played well. I mean, he played adequately for $900,000.
Well, I mean, you can't do anything when the defense can't stop anybody from fucking putting a puck in the net.
Absolutely.
I mean, Lion can only jump around the net like a monkey so much.
Dude, I hear you, dude. And you can only do so much. Like, and he's not a starter. Let's just be frank. He's not a starter.
He's a 35 game a year kind of guy.
Which is great. Which is why you run 3 goalies, right? And the thing is you have Cam Talbot who played the bulk majority out in LA, but Cam Talbot is old. He's 37 years old.
Seasoned vet.
By the way, played 54 fucking games last year.
Yeah. Tell me he's not in shape.
I do a fucking miracle. I love that shit. Put up a 2.5 goals against average and a 0.913. I'll take that all fucking day. Again, you are the starter. Like you are. And again,
if you have a save percentage up in the 90s anymore in today's NHL like that. Yeah.
Well, so goals, save percentages are averaging in the NHL 0.906 is where you're at. So anything above that, you're above average, which I'm like 0.913, fucking home run, dude. Home run.
Yeah.
And for $2.5 million for 2 years, I like that Eisman does the 2-year contracts. It gives you like a little bit of like time to season. Do we want to resign him? Do we want to keep him? Like, and I think these are great. So, I do want to go back real quick. I know I keep jumping around. So whether you agree or not with the Wallman trade or not, and I don't, I thought he was good. I thought you should keep him. I like the energy. I thought he played well, but I understand freeing up space. I think Alfredson is a Ole Mata replacement, basically. So, but he's untrained, right? He hasn't played in the NHL, so I kind of get that. And Wallman's more desirable deal, but I wanted to show that the trade, if you're trying to offload someone of Wallman's caliber, actually was good. So in 2021, I believe it was, Mark Stahl had 1 year left on his contract with the New York Rangers at $5 million for 1 year. Red Wings took on that contract for a 2nd round pick. And I was like, $5 million. So they had the cap space. They're like, hey, we'll take the pick. We'll take the player. Great. Awesome. It worked out well for them. If you look at Jake Wallman, he doesn't have just 1 year left. He has next year as well at $3.4 million per year. So you're saying for $6.8 million in total real dollars, it only costs you a 2nd round pick. And that is, if you just look at that part, don't look at Wallman's position, and that you could have got something. Like if it was a worse player, it was good business, I would say.
Correct. I agree 100% from if you're looking at a front office standpoint and you don't see players, you see dollars or you see years.
Yeah.
They made the right call.
Yes, agree.
You know, as a fan, I'm pissed.
Yeah. Well, but, and the way I've been trying to find ways to defend this, and I think because of that 2nd year, and the reason that you have Ole Mata only 1 year left, and you have Jeff Petrie only 1 year left, those two guys leaving makes space up. In the next year, not just this year, but the next year, you have Wallman taking another space. Again, you have Hall, Sider, Sherratt, Wallman. Like that's 4 spots taken up. Evanson takes up one of those.
Johansson, and then you got 5 in Grand Rapids that are ready to come. They're
over-ripening, right? So that's kind of where I start to make sense of the Wallman trade. And I'm like, it's a bummer. The only issue is that I think Wallman, they could have gotten a 7th. They could have gotten something for him, right? Like,
you know, and I think too, like you said, if you have Petrie left on 1 year, and then you have Mata left on 1 year, and then say they don't come back after that, now Wallman gets a big head and he wants a little bit more money because he's got to carry some team now.
Well, no. So once they leave, he still has a year after that.
That's
So
what I'm
like,
saying, right? So he's going to be.
then you trade him. I think that at that point with 1 year left for Wallman, I think that's when you trade him, right? And that makes more sense then because then you have Ed Vincent has played for a year now at this point, right? Alfredson's also played for a year. Then you have bring up a young guy, right? Again, I think Hall gets bought out next year. I think it's either Hall or Cop. I think you could find a way to do either. I think they got to retain half on Hall and move him to fuck all. I don't care.
Yeah,
Utah.
I don't care. Yeah. Move to Alaska. I don't care. Wherever the fuck they have a team that's not here, just not here.
Yeah. The problem is he has a 10-team no trade clause. So 10-team is typically all 7 Canadian teams and either California or New York. So it's usually California because they don't want to pay the taxes. So,
taxes. Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to play in Florida, baby.
I do. Dude, if I had a kid and I'm like, hey, where do you want to be drafted to? Florida, Vegas, Dallas, no
Nashville.
taxes, no taxes. Warm
Right.
and Nashville's good too, right? Like, do I want him in Carolina?
No.
Tampa, yeah, Tampa for sure,
Tampa?
right?
Hell yeah.
Well, hell yeah. Seattle.
It's cold and wet.
It is. It's always cold and wet,
Always.
too, right? Dude, I can't believe that, dude. I mean, I went off on them signing Chandler Stevenson and Montour, and it was just crazy, dude. It was.
I can't believe it.
But they need to do something because they had a poor expansion. But I mean,
I can't believe Montour went.
Money, fucking money.
I know, but like, you get to play in Sunrise, Florida.
Well, I'll be honest. I don't think that was his decision. I think it was. I don't think it was. I think Montour wanted to stay, but I think they offered him like a 5x5.
You can't keep Reinhardt and Montour.
That's what it was. It was Montour or it was Reinhardt. So, but we can we can do a full episode on the Atlantic. Like I said,
you're keeping the 54 goal score.
I did it right. Fuck no, I think it was 60. Wasn't it like 60? It was almost
60. Did he get that high? I didn't think so.
I think it was almost 60 because I was like, really? Like I remember this is Buff. By the way, you know who traded fucking Buffalo? Yeah. Fucking Buffalo, dude. How do you do this, Buffalo? How do you just keep doing this? You keep sending out guys like this, right? You know they traded like Ryan O'Reilly. They traded like
Kyle Poso.
But I think he was ready. I think he was ready to go. Like he wanted to wanted to win, right? And that's why he was like, and he had a no move clause as well, by the way. So yeah, 57 goals. You were correct. Okay. 94 points, man. God damn, good for him, dude. I mean,
that boy couldn't miss,
dude. Right. And it's crazy in the 2014 draft, they got Ekblad, Reinhardt, who else? And they have Sam Bennett. Florida Panthers got like 3 of the top four players in that draft.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. So again, before I talk about this upcoming season a little more and the projection for the next season, going back to the goalie carousel, we talked a little bit. Actually, no, I do want to break actually because we're definitely not at the halfway point. So I'm gonna take a break to do a quick ad read. So we'll have Jason join us back in a little bit. So let's jump into the ads. Let me get this position right, and we'll just do this quick. So, all right, this episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. If there's something that we used to learn a lot when we were children. As adult, it's hard to make times to do things that you like. I enjoy this, so I'm making time to this, but it's something that was a huge process for me. And that I had to decide to do this, but a lot of people don't have that opportunity. But fortunately, I've been to therapy, I've done some of the work to enjoy some of these things and choose to do some of these things. I pick up guitar, right? But it's just not about being a kid, about having to learn some of these things, learn new things. You can do this as an adult. And that's kind of what brings some of the joys of life and everything. So, so if you're thinking about starting therapy, which can help you bring out some of these childlike things, kind of help rejuvenate life, bring the spark back in life, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online and designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Rediscover your curiosity with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/THPN today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/THPN. Also, we're doing DraftKings over here. So NFL Week 1 is here, and a new season means new ways to get in the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Ready to place your first bet? Try betting on something simple like picking a player to score a touchdown. My wife and I, we just watched the we watched the Lions versus the LA Rams. Great game. I mean, it was nail biter. We also watched the Chiefs versus the Ravens. Again, another nail biter, just going down to the wire. And this is what it's all about. So get in on this action and be ready to do a touchdown dance of your own. So score big with DraftKings Sportsbook, the best place to place bets, or the best place to bet touchdowns. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the code THPN. That's code THPN for new customers to get $250 in bonus bets when you bet just $5 and get 1 month of NFL Plus Premium on us. Only on DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, 1-877-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit cpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in New Hampshire, Ontario, Oregon. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/ftball. NFL Plus premium offered available only to new and former NFL Plus subscribers. Additional NFL Plus premium terms at nfl.com/terms. All right. Jumping back into this. Welcome, Jason, back. Oh, man. Whew. Ripping through those. It is. I'm like reading. I'm trying to not some of my words that I already do as it is. Already,
it's tough when you got brand new reads. You're not really.
This is a new one. I've only done this one second. So but again, we're appreciative of sponsorships, of course. They
Better help in DraftKings. Yeah, support those guys. They support us. So
they keep the lights on, right?
That's right.
So moving on, I want to move on to the goalie carousel that we have here going on with the Red Wings. They have 4 goalies signed currently. Technically to the NHL roster because they haven't waived anyone yet. So they have Ville Husso at $4.75 million for the next year. He does end at the end of this year. You have Talbot at 2.5 for the next 2 years, recently just signed. Alex Lyon at $900,000 for this up and coming year. And then you have the phenomenal, wondrous, recently bought out Jack Campbell at league minimum of $775. So you have 4 goalies. And then down, of course, in Grand Rapids, you have Kosa, who again we hope will. I mean, he should be taking over the starting position in that net, running tandem. But the thing is, with the AHL, some of these guys are playing 2-3 games in a row, back to back. You play a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or a Thursday, Friday, Sunday.
Yep.
So you need a competent backup goalie, or a competent 1A, 1B down in Grand Rapids, which I think where you get Jack Campbell. I mean, that's why you sign a guy. He is at this point a veteran goalie at this point. Originally started with the LA Kings, then he went to Toronto, and then he signed that big contract 5x5 in Edmonton. Recently bought out. Spent most of the year last year in Bakersfield, the AHL team for the Edmonton Oilers. But I mean, like, he's played well before. Like he actually is one of the better goaltenders in the last decade for Toronto Maple Leafs, but I'm a little confused by it,
Yeah. I think having goalies is never a bad thing in the NHL.
Yeah.
You can not have enough. Goaltenders are far and few between. And if you can have 4 sitting around that go, I want to fucking play here, I think you got something pretty good going on.
Yeah.
The Campbell, it's great because the money's great, period. I mean, where else are you going to get an NHL caliber player for league minimum at that age? Usually they're like, I'm invested. I'm here. I need, typically it's, hit me with $1 million and we'll go from there.
Yeah.
So I think it's that's fantastic. I think Husso, I think we're going to end up moving on from him at the end. unfortunately, not it's not his fault getting injured. It happened to him, but it's happened too frequently, and it happened at the times when we really needed it the most.
Yeah, and he's
right?
supposedly healthy right now.
Right, but he, excuse me, he hasn't. I mean, he's great when he can play.
Yeah,
but again, when he's hurt, it really hurts us. It's very much one of those. We called him in like you were going to be the guy. You are the guy, right? That was it. Like, hey, you're coming in. You're going to save our ass. This is going to be, this is it. You're right. You're our. You're the next Jimmy Howard that we need somebody to do something. And unfortunately, he couldn't stay healthy enough to do it. And the nature is it's a business, right? Again, it's a sport, but it's a business for everybody else involved. And I just think that we're going to have to go on from that. The Cam Talbot situation, I really like that one.
I do want to go back to Billy Huso. He actually hasn't been as good as we think he is. Looking at his numbers right now, I pulled up in 22-23, 56 games, which is a ton of games. I agree. I think he got worn down, 3.11 goals against and a 0.896. He's under 900 for a $4.75 million goalie. I'm like,
yeah, the numbers don't match the money there.
They don't. And then you're like, okay, well, he played a ton. And then you look at 23-24, he played 19 games. He had a worse goals against average at 3.55. So from 3.11 to 3.55. And his save percentage stayed about the same at a 0.892. So it went down 0.004. So about the same, but still under 900. I just and in my previous Red Wings review, I said, you're trading him. Like, you can't afford a guy like this. And I think that's where we talked about, like, I think you waive him or you trade him. I mean, but like, who wants a goalie like this? I mean, he's your Jack Campbell. Jack Campbell made $5 million for 5 years. This guy makes 4.75. It's similar and bad numbers.
Right. I mean, do you sell him to Utah?
Well, I'm curious if Utah's trying to be good though, because they traded for Mikhail Sergachev, right?
That's right. That's the big one I missed. I was looking about that. Yeah.
So and ownership has said they want to be good in their first year. They said we want to be good in our first year. I don't think they're gonna be. Still, I think they're still. It's too much. It's too much change to me. It's a new arena. It's a new routine. It's a new city. Every one of those players is a new home. They moved all their families. All their kids are going to new school districts. Like, it's a massive change. And they're in the Pacific Division. Again, we can go back to we'll quick wrap up Utah, but like, who are they going to beat out? Vancouver? No. Are they going to beat out LA? Probably not.
Probably
Vegas? Probably not.
Anaheim's the only team they're going to beat out there.
Them in San Jose, right?
Yeah.
Right. And Oilers, no. Right. No. So that's kind of where you're like, okay, well, like, who are they going to beat out? So it just doesn't seem plausible at this point. But again, Huso just doesn't have the numbers. He's just genuinely not good enough. And it's a bummer because we had high hopes when he played really well with the Blues. I thought it was a great signing. They traded like a 3rd round pick for him. But like, I mean, I'm looking at Alex Lyons, 3.05 goals against and a 0.904. He's above 900. Right. But again, like, I think you and I agree. Cam Talbot's a starter.
Has to be.
Cut and dry. Right. We reviewed his team, reviewed it 55, almost 55 games, played phenomenal numbers. Right.
Yeah.
The issue is the backup at this point. Right.
Yep.
So,
yeah. I don't, and, I don't know, how does Huso take playing, spot B, right? When, for the last couple of years, he's been A, so it's like, do you got to release him so you don't want riff in your locker room either, right? You don't want somebody all butthurt that he's not playing because you brought in this new guy, but some players are like that, right? I hope he's not one of them. Yeah,
well, and to me, you haven't performed your contract. You haven't performed up to your contract. I get it was tough. I get that it's tough, but to me, this is what they don't waive Lyon. They'll lose Lyon. They like for $900,000. Someone will absolutely pick up Lyon. He's not getting waived. I don't think it's a matter of if Huso gets waived. I think it's a matter of when. And I think if he plays well, great. Run 3 goalies because that's what you have. You run 3 goalies. You're waiving Jack Campbell. No one's gonna pick him up, right? And they do. Cool, take him.
Go ahead. Yep.
Go ahead. Right, take him. They'll sign a Michael Hutchinson-esque player, right? Or trade for a goalie. Not a big deal. but maybe they work well because again, you want Huso to work out. Like, because if you send him down to the minors, you only get like $1.3 million cap relief. So it's not like you're getting that full 4.75 million. You're only getting, like I said, almost $1.5 million. So you're not doing it for the cap space, and you want your $4.75 million goalie to play well. You know,
like you invested in him.
Ownership doesn't want to send him down. You know, or
right?
Doesn't want to send him down. He's like, why would I pay this guy all this money to go play in the AHL? You know,
yeah.
But again, you would lose that Lyon though for sure.
Oh yeah. Anybody, well, $900,000, you'd be retarded not to, or sorry, you would
you'd be dumb. You'd be stupid not to.
Yeah, you'd be dumb not to.
Yeah. So no, I agree. I think Lyon, and again, maybe they get. I think Lyon's gonna want a little more money because Lyon is 31. I think you might want to try and make a little more money. I wouldn't mind him staying, but I think the reason you bring in Talbot for 2 years is he's started this year, started next year. This year, if Lyon wants to stick around as a third, maybe an AHL guy, I'd be fine with him signing for another 2 years for $900,000. I'd be okay with that. Maybe $1 million, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's Costa's net to. I think next year, it's Costa's backup net to lose. To me.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, mind you, the Red Wings do have two. They have other goalies in the system as well. With let me scroll up. They have Carter Gylander, who did play. He signed his ELC as well. I think he was a 6th round pick. He played out of Colgate. Drafted 2019, 7th round pick, one of Eisman's first drafts, dude. In the AHL, he didn't play any games, but at Colgate, he played 32 games, sitting above 900 each for the last 4 years, 901, 908, 914, 901. So, I mean, still and sitting under, and it's NCAA, right? So it's pretty high scoring. So he was under 2 goals or under 3 goals against every year. So under 3 goals against every year. I mean, I think he'll be in AHL maybe, you know, again, he'll move up to the AHL. But again, it's a goalie carousel. So you're telling me you have Talbot, Huso, Lyon, 3. Then you have Kosa, Campbell, Gylander. And I'm like, okay, like there's a lot of guys here. And then eventually like Augustine's not signed yet, but eventually he's going to come up after I think he's coming up not this year. I think he's on ZLC next year. After he goes to state, you know. So.
Yeah. I mean, you know, you go out there and kill the, you know, men's national team, and you're the goalie on the United States national team. I think you're going to be somebody.
Yeah, right. I know. You know. Well, mind you, by the way, speaking of the Nationals, Lyon got his hand cut. So that's why they brought in Trey Augustine. So
I didn't know why. I didn't realize why.
Yeah. So Lyon. So I mean, who's going to be your U.S. guy? It's going to be, you know, for the Olympics, it's going to be like Hellebuck, right? But for the U.S., they brought in Alex Lyon because they're like, hey, he can do it. He's cheap. He can afford, like, he's a goalie they can afford to lose, right?
Yeah.
You know, they're not going to bring in Swayman. They're not going to bring in these guys that don't have contracts or that are too expensive to lose all that money.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine how fucked Winnipeg would be if they lost Hellebuck, dude. Like,
oh God, they'd be giving up goals left and right.
Yeah, well, I mean, of course, he's a 2-time Vezina winner, so I think that's any goal. No one's gonna like, you know, Shovel Day Off is not gonna be like, yeah, take my $8.7 million a year goalie. Yeah, no.
Yeah, right. Yeah, not a chance.
Not a chance. Yeah, right. Yeah, Red Wings can afford to lose Alex Lyon.
Right.
You know, so.
You got a better chance of getting Scheifele than you do Hellebuck.
Yeah, right. So, and so that's kind of where I'm like, it just seems so crowded. And again, kind of going back, it's a circular conversation of there's not enough opportunity. I mean, not opportunity for the guys to come up. And I think you're clogging this with veterans, and it's like, and is Costa ready to start as a backup this year? No, he's 21 years old. He's not ready yet. Let him steep. I mean, last year he played in the ECHL as a little bit. It was last year or the year before he played in the ECHL, right? So like he wasn't ready for he wasn't ready for a full time in the AHL. Now he's ready for the full time in the AHL, right? Maybe he does this for a year. You know, I don't know, but you allow a little bit of time for him to be ready and everything. So
yeah. You're not. You can't force. You can't force greatness. It'll come.
yeah, absolutely.
And not everybody, hardly nobody is ready to pop into the league at 18, 19, 20 years old.
Mhm.
It's very far and few
Especially
between.
a goalie, especially.
I mean, I don't. Who's the last one? I mean, really?
I think it was like Carter Hart at 20. I think it was like, and look how that worked out.
Right? Yeah. And then he got some sticky finger. His fingers are everywhere.
Did you hear he's trying to get he hired a immigration lawyer to try him because he's in Canada right now because he's Canadian.
Right.
He's trying to get down to Nashville to start training.
Mm.
I'm like, ugh, buddy, you can't sexually assault someone and then try to come back.
Yeah, like don't they have to reinstate him for that
Yeah,
too?
okay, he's currently banned.
That's what I thought. Yeah,
yeah.
he's not in at all. He has to before. Yeah, he's got to go through litigation just to be considered back.
Yeah. The U.S. government has to let him back. I think.
Yeah.
At this point, right?
Yeah. You're extradited. Get out.
Yeah. By the way, at 20 years old, Carter Hart, 31 games, a .917 save percentage. 17. Dang, that's yeah. Hey, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. That's
That's exactly it. And I mean, I hate the fact that it's something that everyone screws up, but obviously sexual assault's not one thing to screw up.
Nope.
Like I'm not, not advocating for that, guys. Just saying we're not advocating SA over here. So, it's just a bummer, to see anybody, get,
Yeah, but get it out of the league.
Yeah, right. No, I know. Right.
There's a player that was accused of sexual assault stuff on the Red Wings. And we're going to UFAs that we sign. And over to this. UFA signed. Patrick Avery signed. We're gonna do a hard left. Like so, let's just jump into because I mean we talked about the goalie carousel. Let's finish up with lines and we'll go. Lastly, we'll do the lines that we're looking at, people who they signed, how that's looking at, and then we'll go into do they have playoff hopes? What's your projection for the season? So, so when you're looking at your forward group, what do you think? So I'm actually gonna pull up right now. Actually, we'll just spitball. Let's just talk it. Let's just talk through. What do you got? What do you got your top line? Well, I'm gonna go your top 6 because I'm curious on that because we know they signed a pretty big UFA. And I'm sure you're excited to talk about him.
Yes. The Tarasenko signing. Very, very big. I'm surprised that he won a cup and said, hey, I want to go play in Detroit.
Yeah. And he said 2 years. He didn't sign just 1 year, 2 years.
Yeah, 2 years. Sorry, did I misspeak on that one?
No. I'm emphasizing. You're good.
Okay. Yeah. So he got, what was it, 2 year, 4.45?
4.75. Yep.
4.75. Okay.
Yeah, close though.
Yeah. I had to do some quick math. I got 2 year, 9.5, and
I got you here. I got you here. I got the full list and everything, so you're good. So, 4.75, which is I mean that's a great deal. That's a good.
Stanley Cup caliber champion. He was the captain of the St. Louis Blues. Won a cup there. Brought a franchise out of the shit.
Yeah. Playing the Rangers too, like he played for Ottawa, like he's been around a little bit now. He's older, 32 years old, man, but he's still kicking, dude.
Right. I mean, I never thought he would be a suitcase. I thought, you think the Blues would have locked him in for life, pulled like one of those, Ovechkin and Crosby deals from back in the day, and I'm sure, but so for that one, I think Tarasenko, great call. Yeah. He fits right in. He's going to be top 6, no doubt, easily. I say he plays on second line though.
Yeah.
Because I think we have a great gel in DeBrincat, Larkin, and Raymond.
Yep. Yeah. As your top line.
That's your top line.
So your second line, you're thinking what? Tarasenko, Compher, Kane.
Compher.
Who else playing center?
Yeah, I know.
It's not Kopp. It's not Rasmussen.
It's not Veleno, or Veleno's a winger.
Veleno.
No, he's a center, right?
He plays center, but he's fourth line center.
He's not a number 2.
You're not going to put JT again. If you put JT, you move Veleno up to 2C. Compher goes to 3C, and then where does Kopp goes to the wing M3? Like you have $10.5 million on third line with Comfer and Cop. I think Comfer is your 2C there.
Yeah. Okay. I see. Yeah.
That's what Daily Faceoff also has it as, because Rasmussen can play it, but Rasmussen's not going to play. So this is my issue. This is my one issue, and this is where I think I'd be open to this. I'd be open to moving DeBrincat down to the second line with Kane. So, and moving Tarasenko up. And the reason, and this is my reason, is you have you have an elite line with DeBrincat, Larkin, Raymond. You have defensive black holes on your wings. And then Comfer is your more defensive guy as a center. But like, what are you gonna like? Comfer's gonna try and be the defensive guy on the line. That's it. It's all you have. Like, you'll have to play Sider with that pair so that line, so that you can prop him up well enough, right? Because it's gonna be such a black hole. Like, Kane's not skating back, Tarasenko's not skating back. He literally in the press conference is like, are you gonna play? Like, they're like, are you gonna play defense? He's like, I just want to score goals. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
you're not paying Kaner to fucking back check anymore.
No. Again, Tarasenko is like, you're gonna pay him to score goals and
yeah.
So that's kind of where I think DeBrincat is a little more responsible defensively. Plays really well with Kane. I think you spread the talent out a little bit more. I think your top line gets worse with Tarasenko as opposed to DeBrincat, but I think you get a better second line because of that. It's a little more responsible. So that's kind of where but we can agree this is your top 6 for sure.
Correct. Yeah. Total agreement. Yeah. However you want to match it up.
Yeah.
Those are your top 6.
Yeah. So that's kind of where I'm like, okay, that kind of makes sense, and I like that. I mean, I don't mind that at all.
Yeah, Comfort's the only name to me that just sticks out that doesn't look like it belongs with everybody else.
Because he's not a 2C, like on a cup contender, on a potential wild card back end kind of guy. He's a 2C. He's a 2C guy on the Red Wings. He is a competent 2C. He's a low end 2C. Let's see,
no, you put him on a cup winner. He's third line center.
Oh, totally right. Yeah. I mean, even next year, I think if they buy out Kopp and they bring Danielson.
I mean, Comfort only looks so good because he played with McKinnon and Landy and
he
played in Colorado. So
yeah. I think he was Nichushkin and Kadri. I think that was who he was playing with. It was okay. Still, he was playing really well with guys that were playing well, right?
Right. I mean, he's a good guy, and he's getting up against the second and third D pairings because they got the firepower out front. So he's just getting walk-in tap-ins because he's playing nobody.
Yeah. Well, and that's kind of where I think is that at this point, I think Comfort loses point. Well, I mean, it could go either way. He could make it points because he's playing with Kane and Tarasenko. But I think he's got to be more defensively responsible. So I don't think he plays in front of the net because who's going to skate back if it's a 3-on-2, who's going to skate back? It's Comfort. So he can't be in so deep going behind the net.
He's going to be a high slot guy.
That's kind of where I say moving DeBrincat down, who will hustle back. And then Raymond and Larkin will both hustle back. So you have your offensive black holes, Kane and Tarasenko, split up, right? So you have
mitigate the damage.
Yeah. And actually, this is my other controversial one that I was thinking. So Lucas Raymond plays right wing, but he's playing on his off wing. So he's actually he can play. I think he's left-handed.
And he's right-hand shot.
Oh, you're right. So right-handed shot. You know who plays right-handed shot? Ovechkin.
Yeah.
Left side.
Tarasenko, right-hand shot, left-hand side.
No, exactly. Left-hand shot, right-hand. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So, like, I'm wondering if you put – I'm mixing shit up, right?
Right.
What if you did Raymond on the left, Kane on the right?
And Kane just saucers the –
Well, because Tarasenko was asked, can you play both sides? I think it was Lalone or Eisman asked if Tarasenko can play both sides because in Ottawa he played left wing and right wing.
Okay.
So you move Tarasenko to the right side. you move DeBrincat onto the second line left wing, and now you got a bona fide ripper for that
you got one times teed up.
Tarasenko could feed him as well, and then you have Tarasenko shoots left, so you'd have him ripping like Ovechkin, right? On the right side though, so it's an option. And you have Kane playing with Raymond. I mean, imagine Raymond feeding Kane,
right.
And so that's the issue is that when you do move that, you have 3 playmakers in Raymond. Well, Raymond did show he can score, right? But you have like Raymond's a pass first guy, Kane's a pass first guy, Larkin's a pass first guy. So that is where you kind of get some complications there. But I'm playing fun. I'm just playing fun.
Right. But the Tarasenko is a good thing because he's a shoot first.
Yeah. Which is why I was saying move like. So your shoot first are going to be DeBrincat and Tarasenko. So that's where the flip really happens. I think you can either flip both. And again,
I totally agree. You have to have them on separate because they right. Yeah. I didn't break it down like that. I like how you broke that down though. That was a good imagery of okay, you got to mitigate the damage somewhere. Where do you do that?
That's what I'm saying, right? So that's why I like. And again, DeBrincat Kane, we know it plays well. We played this song and dance before. Again, Tarasenko is going to be your goal scorer, and you have 2 guys on our feet doing Larkin and Raymond who can also play defensively. And again, so I think that just kind of makes sense. So
any of those guys can play with any of each other.
Yeah. So third line a little less important, but we have Kopp. We've bitched enough about Kopp. I think you got Rasmussen, Kopp, Berggren. Again, Berggren's taking over that Sprong role. Fabry role, right? Kopp and Rasmussen can both play center. So I think they're opposite hands too. Yeah, Rasmussen is left-handed. Kopp is also left-handed. So I mean, but either way, you can play that. You can swap them and you can put them in center positions. I think Kopp will end up probably centering most of that just because I think he's a little bit better on the face-off, supposedly.
Right. No, I really I mean, this might be controversial, but.
Secret
truth. I'm a huge Rasmussen fan.
Oh, fucking love that dude.
I love that guy. I mean, that guy bangs around more than anybody else. He's 6'7", uses it to his advantage or whatever.
He's huge.
I mean, and the guy he doesn't quit.
6'6", yeah, he's huge, dude.
He has puck control like nobody else's business for that big of a man.
He's got that fucking dog in him.
Like you can be all over his back, and he's like, no, like, he shakes you off like a puppy at the ankle.
And he's starting to use his body. Before he wasn't using his body. Now he's learning to use his body.
Exactly.
And there were guys, I think it was last year, saying, "I want to be on Raz's line. Like, I want to be on like Rasmussen's line because he's showing it. He's capable."
Yeah.
And he just signed this past year. He signed a new deal, $3.2 million for the next 4 years. Totally comfortable with that.
Yeah,
I think he's going to solidify that third line. I think it's a great contract. $3 million for a third line guy like him, who's going to get in the corners, who can play in front of the net. Like he can play a little center, he can play wing, right? He's probably better on the wing. Let's be honest. He's a fourth line center or a third line winger, and I'd rather have him as third line winger.
I'd much rather have him a winger for sure because him as a center is a little bit too much ground for him to cover.
He's
not a speedster. He's not a speedster. He ain't getting wall to wall, cutting people off through the neutral zone.
6'6". You can't be 6'6" that tall and be a speedster. It's gravity doesn't works against you.
Yeah. Physics doesn't work like that, but
he was almost a half point per game, 33 points in 75 games, 0.44 goals again, points per game. Again, I like this. You buy off some of those UFA years. He ends up. That contract ends in 27-28 when he's 29 years old. So you decide, do you want to sign him for another 3-year contract? Right. 29 years old. I don't know if you keep him, but for right now, I like him for his next 4 years. I think it's good. So another person they signed was Joe Valette. Oh, I'll finish up. Berggren, I think we talked about as well. Like, he's going to get a 1-year deal, $1 million. Again, Kopp will center that. Makes sense. You're not going to put Kopp on the fourth line.
Right.
And at the end, going with some of your extras, you have Veleno centering that fourth line.
Mm-hmm.
He just signed a fresh contract, $2.275 million per year for the next 2 years, which, by the way, he also is under this contract. He's still an RFA after the end of this. So his team still has control over whether they want to keep him or not. And last year, by the way, I don't know if you remember this, he went from his ELC, which was making like $950,000 a year plus bonuses, drops down to $800 million for a 1-year contract. It's a prove it deal. And then now reaps some benefits. Cap went up. He takes 2.275 for 2 years, and good for him, dude. Like he made a little more money,
Right, he's perfect. That contract is perfect for him. Perfect contract for the player he is. I'm really waiting for him to pop off with his speed and really find an extra gear.
I like Veleno and Raz give off the same energy to me. That hustle. And Veleno, mind you, like when Larkin went down, played top center. He played, and so he's a late first round draft pick, 30th or 31st. Like he was Vegas' pick, so he went 31st.
Okay.
Because he was part of the Tatar deal. That's why Tatar, Red Wings got a first, second, and third for Tatar. A fucking steal, by the way. I can't believe they got a fucking steal for that, dude.
Yeah, I just saw it. Yeah,
that ended up being like Wallinder, Veleno, and someone else. I'm like, fucking nailed it, dude.
Yeah.
And so you have, I like Veleno. I like Veleno as that piece. You have Christian Fischer, and you have Tyler Mott, and really there's no extra. So the Red Wings have, because they have 12 forwards, they have 8 D, and they have 3 goalies. That's your 23 man roster right there. So you have no extra forwards at this point. You have Austin Watson doing a professional tryout, but he'll probably sign. He played for Tampa last year. He'll probably sign as an AHL deal, or they'll sign him to an NHL deal and send him down. But to me, about Austin Watson, Michigan native, this is where I don't think Danielson makes it. I think it's going to be, you're going to get, Danielson's going to be next year, but like Mazur, I mean, he looks ready, Casper he had a bad first half of the year last year. Second half, he looked great. He had like 19 points in 19 games.
Okay.
Looked great, so that's where we start to see like, when do these guys fill in? Like when they start filling in, because the only guys that are UFAs that you're going to be losing are Christian Fischer and Tyler Mott. If Patrick Kane Patrick Kane, but if he wants to stay, fucking you keep him.
Yeah, you let him stay. You let him write his own contract.
Yeah, right. And again, you don't bring up Casper if he's not playing top 6, or maybe he'll play third line. But
I mean, any of these guys, right? The new guys that come in. I'm still kind of like an old school guy in the way of, hey, you ain't playing. You're not getting top titty right now. You just showed up, right?
Dude, I just started taking top titty, by the way, and Courtney fucking loses it.
It's great. Top titty's great.
Top titty's great, dude. Right? Yeah. No, I agree. No, and who are they gonna knock off? They're not better than Tarasenko, Kane.
Yeah. They're not better than the top 6. They're fighting. They're fighting the Christian Fischers, the Joe Velenos. Like, don't get me wrong. Veleno's probably got his spot secure. They'll kick everybody else out first because I think, like you said,
he's young. They like him.
Right. The 2-year deal is like, hey, we like you enough to keep you around. Maybe you pop off and we get to see it, and then we'll come back to you.
Yeah. So again, Christian Fischer, I think he's gone next year. I think he's great, but I think Mott's a filler. I think he's a good penalty kill guy. But again, there's just not no space. Again, there's no space in the roster to bring up a guy to. And mind you, I don't want Mazur to come up to sit on the bench. I'd rather him play top 6 minutes down in Grand Rapids. Same with Casper. Same with Danielson. I think those are your top 2 centers right there.
I don't need him sitting on the bench getting cold, not playing. Just watching.
I agreed. So, but I think that's your top 6 right there. Moving on to your 12-man forward group. Moving on to the defense, we have Ben Sherratt, Hall, Mata, Petrie, Gustin, Edvinsson, and Sider, and Lagesson signed as well. I think Lagesson he gets waived. He goes down. I think he's an AHL guy. He's your 8th, 6th, 7th, 8th defenseman. I guess in the Red Wings case, he's your 8th defenseman. 2, 4, 6, 8. Jesus Christ. So many fucking players. And by the way, none of them is it. And 3 years from now, none of them are signed right now. But in 3 years, we'd have like this year, next year, after that, we have no defenseman signed.
Well, that's good because we're gonna kick everybody the fuck out. So everyone can come out.
Start bringing some young guys up, right?
Right,
Exactly.
you're gonna have right because like the Petries and the Sherratts and they're gonna be gone.
Yeah. I can't wait, man. I'm so like again. It's just some of these players I like them. Like I said, I like an Amada. I don't mind Sherratt. I like Gustafson that he came over. That's cool. But get the young kids in here.
Yeah.
Let's fucking go. You have
Sherratt writes checks his ass can't cash.
Yeah,
that motherfucker will make a crazy play, like skate all the way up the ice and act like he's like Usain Bolt on skates, and he's gonna get back to save the day.
Yeah.
Relax.
Eric Carlson going out and skating all the way up, or even skating back. Like, who do you think you are, Roman Yossi, dude?
Right. Your jawline ain't that good either. Get out of here.
Right. So I think your pairs go. I think we talked about before. You have a Ben Sherratt Cider. They that played well last year. Hopefully it works out again this year. I also don't know who else you put up there. Because like genuinely, you're not as much as everyone wants to see it. They want to see an Edvinsson Cider pair. I get that.
Yeah, who doesn't want to see it?
But then you're left with Sherratt Petrie, and that was a fucking garbage.
Yeah, dude, you got two like
old fuckers.
Yeah, you got two. Yeah, you got two cool uncles sitting on a fucking recliner at the family party.
Hey, you want a cigarette, buddy?
Yeah,
I'm 13, dude. Like dude. Like,
go get me a beer. I'll give you a sip.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. So no, I just don't. And again, I think you have a Sherratt Cider who's gonna sign. Everyone can chill their tits off, dude. Petrie, Edvinsson, Mata, Gustafson with you don't have 8, you have 9 defensemen, including Lagesson, because you have Alfred Johansson too.
I haven't heard much about him.
He signed 1 year, so he played. Him and Edvinsson were basically the top pair down in Grand Rapids.
Okay.
He's your defensive defenseman.
Okay.
So he's your Olli Mata replacement, basically.
Okay.
So and Edvinsson has that offensive touch, so that's why you play Edvinsson and Johansson together. And I can see that maybe playing together as well. But I think Olli Mata and Johansson swap out, and then where do you play Justin Hall?
On a bus.
Yeah, right. Hey, buddy, you're not gonna play this road trip the next 5 games. Like,
sorry, we're just gonna eat the money, dude. We're on waivers. Go get a Greyhound bus. You're out of here.
But dude, like even like I mean, the players gotta be mad too, right? Like players want to play,
right?
So like I think he's upset about the situation as well, and it's like I think and Eisman's not like, hey, Eisman wants to play you, like you just have to play better.
Yeah, you have to be of caliber.
Yeah. And like playing 38 games last year, I just like because you're Eric Gustafson shoots left, so he'll play on the left side. Alfred Johansson plays can play both sides. So you're Alfred Johansson basically, so you have Mata and Gustafson both shoot left. But I'd like that pairing. So you probably put Mata on the right, Gustafson on the left, so he can shoot. And then again, Mata and so you're basically on the right side. You have Alfredson, Mata, and Hall fighting for a spot. And I'm like, I choose Mata, Alfredson, Hall.
Yeah, Hall is always third. He's gonna be last.
I hope he was injured. I like not that I want him to be injured, right? Like I don't hope
we're making the decision easier.
I hope he was injured last year, which means that's why he played bad. You know what I mean?
Like, an excuse.
I'm never like, oh man, fuck yeah. Like when Green Bay Packers, like Jordan Love got knocked in the knee, and I'm like, this is great for the Lions. I'm like, yeah. I'm not excited someone got hurt. I'm like, hey, that's a bummer for him.
Right.
That's good for the Lions, right?
Yeah. I'm excited for what we could do now, but I'm upset for what happened.
Yeah. I never wish injury on someone.
Correct.
But and I hope they get better, and I hope everything's okay. but that's pretty cool for the Lions, right?
Right, yeah,
Like,
pretty sweet.
same thing with Hall. Like, I hope he wasn't injured last year. Actually, I think so. I think someone. I'm pretty sure he wasn't, because I think someone asked him at the end of year interviews, like, he was injured.
Yeah.
Were you injured? He said no.
No.
I just remember that, dude. That's fucking brutal, dude.
Oh, yeah, you suck so bad on your best day. They said no.
They said, "Are you injured?" That's brutal, dude.
No.
No. Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah. Yeah,
Anyways,
that's a kick in the BBs.
yeah. So I mean, again, maybe Gustafson's a little, and the only thing I would say is Petrie's old. He's 36, so I can see. Maybe you move Mata up. Maybe Johansson. I don't think you play Johansson and Edmonton at the same time. You don't put two rookies together, right?
No.
Like, but I think if Jeff, let's be honest, I think you actually, if Jeff Petrie needs a day off, that's where Hall fills in, because you're not going to put. I mean, Mata's not a second pair guy. He's just not.
Nope.
He's a third pair.
Mm-hmm.
And Alfred Johansson, his first year, you're going to put him in with another rookie. Like, it wouldn't make sense. So I can't see where you see, maybe if Petrie plays 40, 50 games, I think that's where you see Hall fills in the rest of those games. Hopefully, right? Like, and hopefully he plays well. And then, but that's when that pair maybe splits time with Gustafsson and Mata, then, as opposed to being Mata and Gustafsson is just the third pair, and Gustafsson playing power play too. But I think that's kind of where you kind of maybe you bring up the third pair's minutes a little bit if you're playing Hall, So again,
yeah,
I he's a Red Wing. I hope the best for him. Do I want Kopp to be a point per game player? Absolutely.
Right. That's kind of why we bought him.
I mean, he was never
point per game, but he produced.
He would have 55, I think 50. He's capable. Like,
yeah, the year we bought him is why we bought him. He had a good year in New York.
Yeah, he played well in New York. He played well with the Jets and everything too. Like, so in that year that he got traded, 35 points in 56 games, and then with New York, 18 points in 16 games. Yeah, that's why you bought him.
Right, but then you come here and then you only get 18 points in a whole fucking season.
Well, he had 42 points in 82 games, so a little over half point per game, and then 33 points in 79 games. I'm like, you went backwards. I mean, he did have the core injury. I'll give you that, but we need more. We need more from both. And again, I want the best, right? It's like some people are like, if you're for or against the presidential candidate, whoever's in office or whatever, you're like, I hope they do well, because if they do well, it's good for the country, which is good for me. Like, I never wish ill will on someone if it's going to benefit me and my team and all stuff. I'm like, I hope they do well.
Yeah.
I just don't know if they will. The track record, they're not. But
yeah,
I hope they do well. So
yeah, I hope it was just a slump. It happens from time to time. It happens to players. I mean, you take a shit year. It happens to everybody. You're not feeling hot. You're not feeling right. Again, coming off your injury, you're not always right. You're not always fresh. You're always, that's in the back of your head. If I strain too hard, if I go too hard, does it do it again? And then,
but Larkin had the same injury. That's the thing. Larkin had the same injury and was point per game the next year.
Yeah, like, well, he's a dog, though. He don't care. He'll go out there with broken legs if he had to.
I know, dude. I fucking love this kid, dude. People were like, it cracks me up. Everyone was like, he's not a number one center. I said, yeah, he is.
Dude, he personifies Detroit Red Wings hockey.
Dude, absolutely, right? I mean, I think he's so fired up. He's kind of Yzerman-esque in his attitude. He's kind of quiet, kind of calm. But he's fired when he talks. The boys fucking listen.
Yeah,
I mean, like, he can get rowdy, Yeah,
and who else brings more energy than a kid who grew up sitting on his couch watching the team he now fills seats for?
Yeah, exactly. Oh,
I mean,
what a great way to say that. Fills seats for.
Yeah, there's nothing better than watching the team you grew up loving and wanting to play for, then getting the call being drafted. Now you're the fucking man. You are the Yzerman of today. You are the fucking man.
Yeah.
And now you get to see all that, right? And it's like, yeah, you want to do good.
Absolutely. So All right, well, let's wrap this up, man. Like I said, I was good talking to you. This is a
Yeah,
great conversation. Hour and 34 minutes in, dude. Isn't that
yeah,
crazy?
went
Dude.
by pretty good.
Yeah, it was good cadence, man. You picked up well, man. I appreciate it. So,
Thank you. Yeah, I don't do this too often. You know, the whole because the podcast, it's kind of a thing, right? You got to know where to kind of pause. You got to kind of know where to jump.
you
You
figure
know.
you were a natural, man. You were a natural, dude.
Thank you,
So
thank you. You know.
we'll have to do this again. So,
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
anyways,
Thanks for having me on this
not a
evening. I appreciate it.
no problem, no problem. So, anyways, you guys like this? You want to hit like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. Put your favorite emoji right now. Undrafted Hockey Fan Podcast. Again, THPN helping us out. Thank you, Jason, for coming and hanging out, and hope you had a good time, man. So,
All right, thanks, Brett. I appreciate it, and hopefully this new venture goes well and we get all those views. And thanks for listening, guys.
yeah, appreciate it. Thanks. Everyone, you guys have fun.
Yeah, later, Brett.